Okay, we've got hopefully 3 races at Haydock on ITV, weather permitting. Unfortunately, the weather gods haven't been very kind to Haydock all season, it seems. And this week we've got rain and cold temperatures, so there will be an inspection. Hopefully it's on, and if it is, the first of those 3 races is the 205. It's the Sky Bet Supreme Trial. Frank, what's Paddy Power's latest betting?
Yeah, Waterlord is 2-1. First Flow 5-2. Lost in Translation 11-4. Liston Varna Lad 8-1. Midnight Shadow 12-1. And McGowan's Pass at 16-1.
You go first, Frank.
Yeah, this is a tricky little race. Lost in Translation has some solid form. He was second to Claim and Taken Forgan at Newbury earlier in the year, and he won last time at Newbury. But my one issue is, again, Colin Tizard Stabler aren't really firing at the moment. I think he might be vulnerable. If you go back a few years, I think in 2010, Don McCain won this with Pedlar's Cross, and in 2012 he won it with Sinners and Ashes. And of course, the two of them went on to win at the festival. But Waterlord was a very good bumper horse for John Ferguson. He was only beaten on his 4th start after winning 3 in a row. I think it was a listed bumper at Cheltenham behind Ballyandy in November. He made his hurdles debut was second, beaten by Sirius Mauvier, and then he had 18 months off the track and switched to Donald McCain. Now, he ran a Haydock on his reappearance, clearly needed the run, and his 2 runs since have been very impressive. Just went out in front and put it to bed very easy. Now, this is a step up in grade, obviously, but I think the way he's won so far and the way Don McCain's yard are going this year, they're absolutely bombing it. I think he's the one to beat. Now, again, it's not with too much confidence. First Flow is solid enough as well, but I think if there's one horse here, I won't say capable of winning the Supreme, but capable of at least running it, I think it's probably Waterlord.
Okay, and a quick shout out for a Donald McCain interview in Sunday's Racing Poetry, which is very interesting. You didn't do that one, did you?
I did that one.
You did it?
Yeah, I went up north.
How was it?
All the way up there. It was excellent. He's one of the top men in the game. Donald McCain's absolute superstar. And we had a very long chat about Waterlord, in fact.
Right,
and
okay. We'll stick with you then. What did he say?
We had a chat about Testify. Very sweet on Testify for the novice chase, the 3-runner novice chase. Waterlord is a bit of a conundrum, to be honest with you. He's entered in the Betfair Hurdle, which is probably going to be heavy ground. He's entered in this on heavy ground. He's won twice on heavy ground. Trainer says when you're really going to see improvement in him is when he gets much better ground. It's at the however many days stage it was when I saw him, he said, there's nothing in there that frightens me in today's race. If anything's going to get him beat, it might be the ground, ironically enough, because he's already won twice on it. He clearly doesn't think that this horse is ideally suited by heavy ground, even though he can win on it. I think he'll be good enough to win this. He'd be, I'd be very strong on him.
Oh, excellent. Some inside info there from Pete. That's very good news.
He's certainly a horse to be looking out for in a month's time, so I'm not sure where they're going with him. Certainly a horse to be following, though.
Splendid. DJ, what's your verdict on this race?
I'm just glad you went to Peter first, because you would have made me look like a right pillock, because the reason I fancy Waterlord is because of heavy ground.
Yeah, but listen, hang on a sec, DJ. Look, with all due respect to Donald McCain, I'm not sure these trainers are always the best readers of form. Now, if he says the horse is better on good ground, I don't think that necessarily means he's, and you've touched upon it there, Pete, his heavy ground record's really good, isn't it?
He's got a very good level of ability on heavy ground. Yeah. He can go on heavy ground, no problem at all. And it wouldn't necessarily put you off for tomorrow's race, but I think you're going to be looking in a month's time when he gets on some decent ground. I don't know where they're going, as I say, but when he gets on some decent ground, you'll see an even better horse.
Wow, interesting. So then, DJ, what do you make of that?
Yeah, see, the thing about Waterlord is, if you remember the day at Haydock, I just really hope it's not going to be the same tomorrow. But that day he won at Haydock, just before the day before New Year's Eve. It was scary to watch that day at Haydock, because it was watch behind the couch stuff, like jumping the last in the novices chase, last but not least, and Johnny Sofa. Like, they barely got over the last but not least that day was about maybe 2 lengths clear with possibly 200 yards to go, and he won by 36 lengths. That's how slow they were walking. And Waterlord, just devoured the ground, seemed to absolutely adore it. Now, maybe he has a decent level of ability. You often hear, trainers saying a really good horse will go on all types of ground, and maybe he just adapts to it better than other horses. But, you go back, maybe he's going back to the Ballyandy bumper form from the open meeting at Cheltenham a few years ago. He's only beaten 3 lengths by Ballyandy. But both at Bangor and at Haydock, he just seemed to really enjoy himself. There was no messing about. He was up with the pace the last time he made all. And what price is he, Frank? I could see him going off much shorter than he is at the moment. I could see him being a pretty strong favourite.
Oh, Waterlord's 2-1. Yeah.
2-1.
Like
Three thumbs up for Waterlord, then it sounds like, and get on early. Okay, let's look at the 240, the Unibet Champion Hurdle Trial, and good old the new one. He's chasing a 4-timer in the race, and I believe he heads the market, Frank Hickey.
Yeah, he's even money. Chitabello 7-4, Klein 4-1, and Unison's 50-1.
David Jennings, who's going to win this?
I think Chitabello will win, Bruce. Look, the new one is a lovely horse. I cannot understand the affection that you all have for the new one. He's a lovely horse. He's a grand horse, but like he's not one of the best horses we've ever seen. Like, and
who
and
says
that's the
he
way
is?
Well, the amount of people you talk to and the tweets and the stories you read about him, like we have. I'd say if you go back through the Racing Post in the last 6 or 7 years, I'd say there's been as much written about the new one as any other horse in England.
Bullshit.
It seems that there's
No, that's not true. That's just not true.
You don't
what
think
are you
so?
on about? He's a loved horse because he's got longevity and he gives his all, and people like those horses.
And he's won
Yeah,
£1 million.
Yeah, he's won £1 million quid.
I do really like the horse, but he's not a superstar.
No, we know
And
that. No one's saying he is, but you've got to understand, DJ, that you get these horses and they keep turning up and they keep giving it their all. And because they keep going there, they're like these boxers who just go out there and they never say die. And the public like those horses, and that's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. You just think we're all a load of soppy old fools over in England, don't you?
I have nothing against the new one, and in fact, if they decide to run him in the Stayers Hurdle, I think he's got a cracking chance, and I think Nigel has done a terrific job with him over the years. But I don't think he's a genuine Group 1 or Grade 1 horse, and I think he's vulnerable here, given £6 to Chitabello. The piece of form with Chitabello that I think is most interesting is his actual course and distance win from a couple of seasons ago. He beat Melodic Rendezvous and My Tent or Yours on heavy ground in that Betfair Price Rush Hurdle. That to me is on the ground is a standout piece of form. The new one, like we go back through this race, he just labours over the line in it every year. But maybe this year he mightn't just get away with it. And Chitabello, given how well he handled heavy ground that day, I think he may be able to beat the new one, who I like, but I just don't love.
I'm glad you like him. Peter Thomas, we love the new one.
I'm shaking my head here. I can't believe what these boys are saying.
I know.
I was actually thinking of opposing the new one, but after that, I'm going to put my badge on, the new one fan club presidency badge.
No, come on.
This is what I'm talking about.
We have to be clinical here, Pete. Come on. If you were betting with your own hard-earned, who would you be backing?
You don't always have to be clinical. But I will be. I do think what's wrong with the new one? I mean, I think he's this is his kind of race. I can't see any reason why he won't win it. He doesn't get you excited at 11 to 10, but he rarely puts a foot wrong. You know pretty much where you stand with him, and he's won £1 million. You don't win £1 million by finishing 5th every time, do you? So
that's the equivalent of throwing a kettle over a pub. That Frank Hickey, what do you think with this one? Will you be back in the new one, taking him on, or just sitting and watching?
Yeah, it's probably not a race I'd be going crazy on, really. The new one's obviously won this race the last 3 years. I would argue this is probably, even though there's only 4 runners and probably only 2 serious rivals, this is probably the strongest renewal. I'd be with David here. I think Chitabello, there's plenty of reasons to think he can shake up the new one. He obviously had a little bit of time off between February and December. He set back to Miss Cheltenham. But if you go back to the Christmas Hurdle last year, he was 2.25 lengths behind the new one off level weights. He's getting £6 here. And that was on good ground. He's won at Haydock last November of 2016. Even in the Kingwell Hurdle at Wincanton, he gave Yanworth a right fright, and So Real was behind him. And again, that was soft ground as well. Just getting the £6. The new one, even though he's won a Haydock, I think nearly every time he's run there, he's been vulnerable a few times. I remember Bertie Mont nearly beat him in this, I think, 2 years ago.
Yeah, he was sort of slaloming up after the last, wasn't he? Something very odd.
He jumped out to the right, and he just about, put the afterburners on after the last and ground it out. But I think Chitabello really put up to him. And I wouldn't be going crazy here. I think just the £6 might just be enough to see Chitabello beat the new one. But again, I wouldn't be over either.
Righto, Frank. The 3:15, the highlight of the Haydock card. It's the Peter Marsh Handicap Chase. And Frank, take us away with a show.
Yeah, Tintern Theatre is 5-1. Rock the Casbah 11-2. Hanane 7-1. Yala Yankees 8-1 along with Captain Redbeard and Walk in the Mill. Forest is Aiglas 10-1. The Dutchman 11-1, and we're 12-1 bar.
I've got Tinton Theatre in my horse tracker, but I can't remember putting him in, and I can't remember why. But if he's in there, it means I've got to back him. Do you go with the Fav here, DJ, or have you dug one out from further down the list?
Bruce, I was all over Rock the Casbah for the Welsh National. I was gutted he didn't run, and do you know what? They're probably a little bit disappointed they didn't run now, given the way the Welsh National turned out, and the fact that it's going to be just as heavy here. It's going to be bottomless. But I do think he's the best horse in the race, even though he doesn't have top weight. I think he's a type of horse I think we probably haven't seen the best of yet. I could see him, running in the Grand National for the next couple of years. His novice form is strong. He chased home Politolog last season. And this season, obviously, he's best at Chepstow. But I thought that winning return in October was a really good performance. He's not flashy, but he does get the job done. I think he'll cope with the ground fine. He's won on pretty poor ground before. And I'm just hoping their patience will be rewarded here. I think he's pretty solid. I think is he 11-2 at Paddy Power. I think he's pretty solid.
David Jennings tips Rock the Casbah. Frank Hickey tips.
I think Rock the Casbah should be favourite. He did it nicely at Chepstow. Obviously, the Welsh National have been the target. He's very, very solid. I think he'll be in the 3. I think he will go off Av, actually, to be honest. Again, it's not a race I was in love with. It's going to be very hard work, and you want something you're guaranteed to stay. And there's plenty of them will try and take each other on in front here as well. And I'm going to go for a bit of an outsider, a bit of a flyer each way. Knockin' Rawley of Kim Bailey is going to carry 10-4, which would be a big help in these conditions. He was beaten a short-headed air on his reappearance, and we've beaten 5 lengths at Newbury last time. Probably could have been ridden a little bit handier that day. There was only 9 runners, but if you go back last year to the Eider, he was second, beaten 4 lengths by Mystery, which is a very good run. That was over 4 miles on soft ground. Now, if he can just lay up with them for the first circuit and a half, I think he'll be staying on strongly at the finish. Now, he's 12 or 14-1, and again, it won't be a bet we're going mad on, but he'll be my each way selection. I think Rock the Casbah is absolutely nailed on to run well. I'd have his Fav ahead of Tinton Theatre.
Okay, the boys both very sweet on Rock the Casbah's chances. Do your views clash with theirs?
I like that. That's good.
Glad you got it. Thanks.
You're like that bloke on Springwatch, aren't you? He likes to stick the Clash song titles in. Who's it? Chris Packham. Did you see him when he did that?
I'm unaware of that. I do watch Springwatch, but I didn't know he did that.
He has themes that he tries to introduce them all the way, saying Guns on the Roof, Rock the Casbah. By the by, and I don't clash with them. No, I think Rock the Casbah is rock solid. I think that last run does look very good. The yards in form, which I think is important. They weren't in form earlier. They are in form now. I like one a little bit further down the list, Walk in the Mill of Robert Walford's. I think the last bit of form, third at Ascot, looks good. I mean, in fact, his last 2 runs seem mark him down as an improving horse, I would have thought. He's had enough runs. You wouldn't really expect it, but he does seem to be improving. The ground won't be a problem. He does look to be going the right way. Looks like a mildly progressive horse, and at that price I'd be interested in. But Rock the Casbah does look the solid one.
Okay, we'll get